From a distance, this may look like a routine cargo shipment. But ask the Itarco crew that delivered these Babcock and Wilcox steam generators, and they'll tell you there was nothing routine about it. In fact, very few of Itarco's deliveries are. That's their job, moving large, irregular cargo through unusual routes and often adverse conditions. Now, just 2 miles northeast of its final destination, this significant shipment is about to be delivered. Significant because completion will mean Itarco, together with their transport partner, McKeel Marine, will have helped establish a new export route for their client. Underscoring this is the unpredictability of a tough northern winter. Even before Babcock and Wilcox began building these units, they knew that transporting them would be difficult. Extensive route analysis confirmed Rochester, New York's Ginna power facility as a destination requiring unusual transportation methods. This would be the first time a replacement steam generator had traveled this far by road through densely populated urban areas to be barged across large unsheltered open waters. Continuous rail transport was restricted by load size and weight. Although these units could have gone by rail to the port, a successful road trip would pave the way for even larger steam generators to be shipped to the world market. Although the complexity of the project presented an unusual challenge to the Itarco team, the transportation methods did not. Itarco's multi-wheeled hydraulic transporters were equipped with custom saddles matched to the generator's profile. These saddles would provide a safe cradle from departure through destination and become an integral component of Itarco's offloading process. The transporter's 840-ton capacity and 28 axle lines would easily disperse the generator's weight over the road and stay within standard highway load and size restrictions. The entire transport unit would then act as a secure berth on board the McKeel barge, as each 543-ton load is towed across Lake Ontario. It would take 3 days for the convoy to reach the docks in Burlington and 2 separate lake crossings to complete the delivery. Once there, the units would be offloaded for road transport to their final destination. The 2 steam generators began the 45-mile journey centered in a convoy of roads personnel, utility crews, and police escorts. Leading the way, Itarco's engineers and crew took all necessary precautions to prevent damage to the road structure and natural environment.
Okay, the purpose of this activity is to support the roadbed and the culvert. There's a culvert about 3 feet below the surface of the road. So we're placing 20-foot bridges and then 10-foot ramps on either side. That literally allows the transporter to roll over top, and all of the weight is distributed equally over the entire section of the road.
Overcoming each obstacle along the way, the team focused on the challenges ahead. Power units combined to deliver over 1,000 horsepower, conquering steep grades with ease. As each country mile slid by, the convoy maneuvered its way toward the first major highway. Moving large loads through densely populated areas requires a strategically planned course. Coordination and timing are critical in order to ensure arrival at key waypoints on time, safely, and with minimum disruption to traffic. As the cargo crossed through 7 provincial, regional, and local jurisdictions, various police, hydro, and telephone crews were on hand to coordinate traffic and handle overhead obstacles. Each mile was carefully assessed during the planning stages for obstructions and difficult maneuvers. Using Itarco's CAD system, the transporter's progressive center point steering capability was plotted against field measurements and surveys. Over the entire route, only one corner required minor shoring to prevent any possible damage. As planned, the units cleared this difficult turn with ease. Wide roads ahead were now a welcome sight as the units descended into Burlington. The convoy had met all scheduled goals for the day, perfectly timed to avoid peak traffic and to allow the crew time to rest. The next phase was set to begin at 11 p.m. To reach the next major staging area by 3 a.m., the convoy had to cover 6 miles in under 4 hours. That was according to plan. A last-minute forecast for freezing rain was not. Determined to reach the next waypoint on time, the changeable weather is a factor but not a deterrent for the Etarco team. As the rain eased and temperatures improved, the string of vehicles slowly progressed through the city of Burlington. Now, the multi-lane QEW freeway was the next major obstacle between them and the port. Weight restrictions and overpasses meant closing off the highway and crossing over the median. Barriers had to be removed and fences opened to allow the convoy to pass. Even at 3 in the morning, traffic is heavy, so the operation had to be timed perfectly. A task force, headed up by Ontario Provincial Police, coordinated precise and efficient closure. In 15 minutes, the crossing was complete. The units were parked, and the crew rested for the night. Many of these local people lived here 30 years ago when the original nuclear facility was built, so for them, the arrival of these replacement generators is a nostalgic occasion. To the officials at Rochester Gas and Electric, the arrival of the second unit holds a different significance.
This is great news. We've been waiting for this for 4 years. There's been a lot of effort that's gone into it by some very good people, both at BWI, where the generators were made, and the people from Etarco, and also a lot of people from Rochester Gas and Electric are here today. And this is a milestone for us because we've been planning this for a long time, and our plans are going to come into fruition today, and we're very happy about it.
Staying just ahead, the engineers and construction crews work swiftly, temporarily reinforcing busy downtown streets. As the convoy snaked its way through the curious noon-hour crowds, the team anticipated the completion of the first land leg of the journey and tomorrow's loading procedure. Etarco had moved the generators 45 miles on schedule with minimal disruption. Now, land obstructions were no longer a concern as their attention turned to the day-long loading and tie-down operation on the McKeel barge.
It's the fourth day of the operation since we've left Babcock. We've arrived at the dock area to do the loadout. We're preparing the barge and tug for its voyage. Captain's on the helm, ready to move the barge into position for us for the rollout.
Loading facilities suitable to this project did not exist at either the departure or destination docks. So, Etarco's 50-foot bridging ramps were again put to use, creating a stable platform for the roll-on. To the client's project manager, this was an important milestone.
Well, this is really a good demonstration of how people can work together, how different companies can work together, because we've had at least, let's see, it will be ourselves and Etarco and McKeel and RG&E working together to bring the ship into Rochester, and it's a really good demonstration of good teamwork and cooperation between all groups. So it's been a real positive experience.
McKeel's crew teamed with Etarco's loading experts to coordinate a safe, free-floating transfer. While holding the barge against the current, approximately 1,000 tons of water were pumped in and out of the ballast tanks to counteract the massive weight of the oncoming cargo. The generator was now secure on board, ready for departure. The lake crossing was now in the experienced hands of McKeel's captain and crew, but there was one prime consideration. Safe passage would be dependent on favorable weather. The next 24 hours held the most promising conditions for the trip to Rochester, so the decision was made for a night departure. A good weather window over Lake Ontario was difficult to come by, especially during the middle of winter. After 18 hours, generator number 1 had made it to Rochester safe and sound. But during the short trip from there to the slip at Bear Creek, the situation changed.
Lovato is out at Ginna and has a live update for us, right?
The big barge carrying the steam generator, the first of 2 coming here, had to turn back to Charlotte Harbor because the winds were up on the lake and the waves were just too high.
Turned back by increasing high winds and swells, the crews made the experienced decision to abort the landing until safer conditions prevailed, returning to Rochester to wait out the weather. On the next attempt, the approach went as planned until the barge entered the narrow channel. Determination turned to caution. Divers were ordered into the frigid waters to verify if the storm had affected the depth of the channel. Water measurements were taken throughout the area, and the group's fears were confirmed. The marine surveyor declared the approach unsafe. The storm had shifted the silty bottom, and the second attempt could not be completed. The barge returned again to Rochester to await redredging of the channel. Once again, the seasoned Etarco-McKeel team made all the right calls to ensure the cargo's safety. This is the final approach of Unit Number 2. The fleet is being held offshore awaiting an all-clear condition. Daybreak has brought good weather, but now the team has one more challenge. It's all hands-on as the land crew and equipment work to clear ice buildup from the barge's approach path. As a marine surveyor verifies a satisfactory approach, the crew gets the green light. Offloading onto familiar ground, the crew makes routine work of the short trip to the plant. Finally, the second generator is placed alongside its partner in preparation for tomorrow's hydroslide offloading procedure. Now the Etarco team can relax. The carefully laid plans pay off, and both units are safely in place. To these professionals, completing a delivery means more than just getting there. It means a commitment to safety, the customer, and performing with skill and pride. That's routine at Etarco.